And here we go. Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. And should I say Ermanni and Edwards?
Where you at, buddy? I got to find you, man. I can't see you.
We've got him at the desk today, Braylon Edwards, alongside Braylon Edwards, Stan Edwards with us today.
Thank you, guys. Hey, listen, I want to be honest with you. I miss sitting back there with Maz because we looked like we were in a 60s sitcom when they were driving, and the background was really not fake. We were sitting in there. So I miss you back there, Maz, buddy, but I'm right here and I got your back.
I always got a seat for you, man. Don't worry.
You got it.
Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you. And Braylon, I'll tell you, we did make a switch. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, we have taken Stan away from Maz and put him up here on the desk with us.
He did, man. A little Edwards love, man, on the dais together.
I graduated.
Maz, you know, I'm sorry it took your guy, but
it's all right, man.
It's okay. Maybe I come down there sometime. Maybe you be my Uber driver.
Hey, there you
I
go.
love it. I'm here to drive the show. Let's go.
And Maz, you know, on Tuesdays we have Stan in. If you're listening on 93.5 The Roar, 99.1, 94.7 HD2 FM, we certainly appreciate you doing so. We usually have had, because here at Woodward Sports you could watch us as well. It's a very visual outfit here at Woodward Sports. You can find us on YouTube, on Twitter, anywhere podcasts are found. But we had Stan in a lounge chair next to Maz, and it just kind of looked little, you know.
It looked like I was driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah. But at least when I sat back there, we were the same height. Have you noticed how every time I let my seat up,
I know.
it just kind of goes down a little bit. And I'm not really sure why.
We
Maz
tried to
bought
get
the
you
chairs.
to
That's why. Maz bought the chairs, and they're broken chairs.
It was Adam, by the way. Ask Stick. It's official. Okay. Adam Baydoun.
Did we do a Woodward Sports in-depth
we did.
investigation on that?
I'm free.
Hey, Braylon, big show today, my friend.
Some good stuff going on, man. This isn't even a part of the show, but this is just a random thought that I'm throwing out there. I was watching some basketball. Yes, the NBA is on. We never really get a chance to talk about it, but the NBA is on.
Good fight last night.
Definitely a good fight, but I'll let you go to that. I was watching a young man by the name of Steph Curry. I think the NBA
heard of him.
I think the NBA forgot how good he was. I think with KD going there, KD goes there, KD gets 2 chips. He also gets the Finals MVP as well. Steph's kind of sitting in the back, relaxing, not having to do as much. Then Clay gets hurt. Then you forget about the team. Oh, the Warriors dynasty is over. Not from what I saw last night. Warriors are 9-1, NBA best, and Steph had 50 points, 10 assists. It was effortless. It was completely effortless. Wow. That team looks amazing. Steph, and still isn't even playing at his best. He's still not shooting 40% from the three-point ball right now. I'm excited to see what's going to happen on December 25th.
They laughed at me when
Klay
I said
Thompson.
When I said Golden State's going to come out of the West.
You did say that.
Ron Beard, all the other basketball smart Alex.
I'm not laughing at you.
I do love the NBA and what Steph is doing last night, specifically putting up 50 and 10, and the Golden State Warriors are 9-1. They're doing this, by the way, without Klay Thompson, who is still out. But one of the guys who is playing his tail off.
Is he from a school that we recognize?
He is, Mr. Jordan Poole. If you watch this kid play, and I've watched 3 or 4 of their games this year so far, holy cow! It's like a mini Steph Curry out there, going up there shooting from 7 feet beyond the 3-point line, playing good basketball. Very exciting, and I feel like hockey and basketball kind of start on Christmas Day.
This is true,
right?
They should start
on Christmas Day.
That's when you get towards the end of the bowl schedule, and you're nearing towards the Rose Bowl, the Big Four, the national championship, and the season being over completely. So, yeah, but in Jordan Poole, you can appreciate that because you can tell that he's listening to everything that Steph is telling him, and you can tell that Steph is taking a shine to him. Steph is taking him under the wing, said this is how we do things here in the NBA, as well as this is how you be great. You can either listen to me or you don't have to, but I'm cemented. My legacy is cemented, and Jordan Poole chose the first. He said, "I'm gonna listen to you."
Think about that. How lucky Jordan Poole was to go to that team, because you got a guy. Let's just say Cade Cunningham. All right, Jalen Green. By the way, they're playing against each other tonight. If Cade Cunningham was on the Golden State Warriors, what kind of player? Now he has to be on a team that's struggling, and devoid of a lot of talent, and he's got to come up. Just like the first-round picks in the NFL. You go to the worst team, you got to work your way up.
Well,
this Jordan Poole, he lucked out.
It is always interesting to find out. You look at guys when they come into the league. Let's talk football for a second. And they are immensely talented, and their careers don't really pan out like everyone. Not necessarily a bust. Maybe made one Pro Bowl or something like that, but because they didn't go to the right situation, get the right mentorship, the right supporting cast, the right coaching, that their careers just didn't take off the way their talent suggested it might.
I know a guy that had to go to Cleveland.
What could have been.
But
really.
what could have been? Look, if you get drafted by the New England Patriots, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And
you
a couple
drafted by the
So a good friend of his told me, named Larry Fitzgerald, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He said, "You think I would have these numbers if I didn't play with Kurt Warner, who can give you a 40-yard handoff between the numbers every time?"
That's the point.
Makes a difference.
Don't forget about Carson Palmer, and don't forget about playing on the other side of Anquan Bolden, who came out the gate 1,300 yards as a rookie, his rookie year in 2003. But,
the situation...
We had this conversation all the time. Dad has a great example. He brings up all the time. It's Reggie Wayne. You look at Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne was a really good receiver, but Reggie Wayne was not a Hall of Fame receiver. But you take him at the end of the first round, and you put him on the other side of Marvin Harrison in the backfield with Marshall Faulk, then Edgerrin James, and you put him with the Sheriff. It turns into a whole nother player. So, I mean, it's what it is. I enjoyed my time, but there is a lot of truth to that. Look at John Lynch. It's all about where you go, right time, right place.
He would have been a nothing
and
if he wasn't playing for Tampa.
And while we're on this, you think about it's not when you go.
Where?
It's where you go, and that's kind of where Odell Beckham Jr. is being faced right now. It appears, right now anyway, and the deadline is 4 p.m. today, for him to be claimed on waivers. It does not appear he'll be claimed by anybody, so he'll be free to sign wherever he wants to go. Dan Campbell did speak on this earlier yesterday at his media session. Here's what he had to say about OBJ and others.
Specifically, will you guys be in the market for Odell Beckham?
No.
Okay.
When you're desperate for a win and you could probably use an upgrade at a position, what is the conversations like around a player like that when they hit the market midseason?
Yeah, look, Brad and I talk about everything, and he was no different. So he was no different. I would leave it at that, Justin. Look, our ears and our eyes are open to everything. And if there was a certain way to make things work, we'd be open for just about any player if it made sense.
So what are we talking that makes sense? Let's define what makes sense. You have not won a game up until now. You're coming off a bye week, and everybody's trying to figure out what team is coming out of the bye week. Is it going to be the same team? Had you made any kind of adjustments that's going to make you more competitive that will equal wins? Or if you bring an Odell Beckham Jr. in here, that next home game, I guarantee you 20 more thousand people will attend that game.
And Stan, one of the things we were talking about yesterday too, and I'd love your take on this, is Brad Holmes. I don't think it's fair at all to even really go through the draft class right now, although I think you can revisit the Penei Sewell decision to draft. However, if you look at his free agent signings, Terrell Williams, number 1 receiver, injury problems, but not on the team anymore. Brashad Perriman signed to be the number 2 receiver, couldn't even make the team. Trinity Benson traded a 5th-round pick. Now you don't have a 5th-round pick. Guy can't even dress for you. Alex Anzalone, the linebacker, has been fairly decent. He does lead the team in tackles. But there are not a lot of transactions that you look at and say, yeah, I could see what he was doing there. And at what point do you judge the general manager? Because I don't see a lot of help that he's adding this team in 2021 right now.
Well, if you talk about those players, let's talk about the first-round pick. I just learned, and the guy to my right helped me, as well as some of the other people in the league, that, and we've talked about this, but when I heard this and I kind of chewed on this, I don't know how you pick Penei Sewell in the first round.
Yeah.
Let's take Michael Parsons and set him on the side for a second. If you got a guy at the draft is 20 years old, And at the age of 19, he didn't play football.
Opted out.
And you need to win right now. You can't take that player right now if you are a team that needs to win right now. If you're a team that wins 10 games, yeah, at a position where he has to grow to be a grown man, meaning on the offensive line, now you can take a kid and kind of, if he's not ready yet, we can put him in the back, we can kind of groom him and get him ready, and we'll have a really good lineman one day. But when you need to win right now, you can't take a chance on a kid that's 20 years old and hadn't played in almost 2 years.
Braylon?
Yeah, that's the thing I was leaning across. I was going to say is at that position, the lineman position, that's a tough position. You don't draft kids at that position. You draft men, and then you turn them into better players in the NFL. You can't draft kids at that position. As I'm watching Justin Fields have his first really good game, we missed on that one as well.
Top-rated quarterback this week, by the way.
Yeah, he was 15.9 yards per pass in the air, which is second this season. He had a game, but
we didn't need him.
It shows you said all it took was some love. They gave him an offense that he can move with, gave him a little move, moved him out of the pocket a little bit, called some easy throws for him, kept the tight end over the middle. They kept running the corner route with Moody and Robinson Jr., excuse me. They made it easier for him. Matt Nagy, your job wasn't that hard in the beginning. That's why everybody got on him. That's why our boy Dan Orlowski, that's why he was so critical of Matt Nagy early in the year. Because, hey, man, you got a guy. You saw what he was able to do at Ohio State. And I know you get that rhetoric a lot with the Ohio State quarterbacks, but he was different. I liked everything that he stood for. I liked everything that he did. You saw how tough he was in the finals last year and against Clemson and against against Alabama. That guy had the makings, and he showed you.
Going back to Penei Sewell, unless he graded out like Orlando Pace, Anthony Munoz, Tony Baselli, which I'm pretty sure he did not, then you may want to take a chance. But he was never graded that high to be taken at that point with that team, i.e. the Detroit Lions.
I don't even know how high he could be graded. He only played when he was 18 years old, right?
Yes.
Listen, those other guys.
No team needed an offensive lineman more than the Bengals. They took Jamar Chase.
Yes.
The kid is good.
Yes.
He's going to be great. Penei Sewell's going to be very good. He'll maybe be an all-pro one day.
Oh,
like
I told you, around.
I made you a million times. I said this. I don't care if he's an all-pro.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have taken him. They should have taken a quarterback or Micah Parsons. I'm done.
Well, there you go. Well, we are not done. We are far from it. We are just getting started on Woodward Sports. Stan Edwards in studio alongside Braylon Edwards, myself, Ryan Ermanni, and Tom Mazawey. We are talking some college football coming up next. Top of hour number 2. Going to be joined by the Tigers' new catcher, Tucker Barnhart, 2-time Gold Glove winner, as the Tigers get set to make their moves. Right? Oh, man, I know you're ready, Braylon.
I'm excited, man. Like I said, I grew up here. I grew up in baseball. First sport. What was the first sport? First sport was baseball. Was my love. I remember going to Michigan and Trumbull. We used to go see the Tigers play the A's. We used to go actually with Bo Schembechler, when he had his spot position with the Tigers.
Right.
Love baseball. I really, really love baseball, and I'm glad that we got a guy. I can't wait to talk to him. I got some questions for him, so I'm going to save it.
And we'll let you know about our turkey game promo as well. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey gang, I want to let you know about our turkey game giveaway. We are giving away front row seats to the Thanksgiving Day game, Lions and Bears from Ford Field. Win 2 tickets to Detroit's Thanksgiving game. All you got to do is watch or listen to us at 9 a.m., noon, and or 3 o'clock for your chance to qualify. Woodward Sports giving you the chance to sit front row. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy and the bottom line at 3 for your chance to qualify. The winner of the turkey game's going to get 2 tickets to that Thanksgiving Day game plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, go ahead and watch and listen. Again, we will qualify through each show. We'll have a qualifier through November 28th, and we will have our final on November 23rd. So we'll do so at the 3 o'clock hour. Braylon, pick a word today.
Squid.
Squid. When we say squid in the 3 o'clock hour, go ahead to the YouTube chat. Maz will pick the first person he sees. Maz will pick the first person he sees and get you qualified for your chance to win 2 tickets. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
Squid, 3 o'clock. Write it down.
The reason why I chose Squid is because the Turkey Games are a playoff, the new show on Netflix, Squid Game.
Right.
So
You ever hear of that, Stan? You ever hear of the Squid Games?
It's a playoff, the Netflix show, so I chose that word.
Here's something you can compare it to. Back in the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sure.
The Running Man.
Running Man.
Okay, got it.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Look at
Loud
you
and clear.
Look at you old gentlemen sharing stories. Hey, side note, you're talking about Turkey Games. Every time I think about the Detroit Lions, I think about Thanksgiving. I think about losses for the most part, but Calvin did have a big day. But that's not what I think about. I think about the infamous coin flip. And I know I'm probably jumping the gun. I know it's going to be one of your videos once we get a little closer. We were at that game.
Stop it.
We were at that game.
I was there. I was on the mic.
I knew you were there.
I was on the mic.
We were at that game, and I think we stayed. We saw the coin flip, and I think we watched it in the car or something.
Right.
And I think we were listening to it in the Grand Am, but we were like, wait. I think Jerome, I heard in the car, I'm like, he called that. He called it right. But hey, if that's what it takes to get a win, I'll take it.
Amen to that. Hey, guys, I want to talk to you about college football a little bit now, and we'll start with the Spartans. College football playoff rankings are going to be announced tonight. There will be a shakeup at the top with Michigan State's loss. How far will they go? Stan just wants you to have an opportunity to talk on the Spartans a little bit. They lose at Purdue 40-29. Kenneth Walker III had 146 yards on the ground. However, Aiden O'Connell, the Purdue quarterback, 536 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. David Bell, 217 yards receiving, a touchdown on 11 catches. Michigan State hosts Maryland at 4 o'clock this weekend.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. So are the days of our lives. Michigan State beats Michigan, and guess what's going to happen the very next week? I'm not so sure what they were thinking about. They played a good team, and Purdue is a good team, which I don't have a whole lot of respect for. But that's part of the deal. You can't be a championship team and only beat Big Brother. I said it. You got to be able to show up and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat if you call yourself a championship team.
Yeah, my biggest thing about the game, and we kind of talked about it yesterday, but the biggest thing I have is you knew that Aiden O'Connell could pass the ball.
Right.
You knew their premier receiver is David Bell. It's not like you're looking at a situation where you're facing one of those Alabama teams where they have 5 studs, or you're facing the Clemson team with Deshaun Watson where they had 3 or 4 studs, or you're facing one of those type of teams. David Bell is the guy that they had. David Bell is the guy you know. It's the name you know. It's what you saw jump off the page when you're watching film. You can't allow him to have 217 yards. You can't.
Make somebody else beat you.
Make somebody 100%. You got to make somebody else beat you. And I'm not talking about anything else they did. They ran the ball well. They did some things. They hung in the game up until about halfway through the third. But just in the secondary, and just this is from a coaching standpoint too, you knew how good David Bell was. You knew Aiden O'Connell was going to eye him down. You knew he was going to give him every opportunity for a jump ball and a 50-50 ball that whole game, and you let him still get 217 yards on you. That's a problem. But that's good for Michigan State. That's correctable. That's correctable, and it's on the coaches. They have to correct that this week. ASAP.
How correctable is it, though, Braylon? Because I look at this defense, and we talk about it ad nauseum. This defense has given up over 1,150 yards in the last 2 weeks. That's not – you don't win championships by giving that amount of offense up. 550 yards a game, 580 yards a game. You cannot win a championship when you do that defensively.
I would say more so correctable when you just have one wide receiver that can beat you. You can correct that. You can play jump coverage. The coach knows to shift that safety over top and play the corner inside at the line of scrimmage. The coach knows to do that, but he's not doing that. I'm not saying it's easy fix for everything, because when they play Ohio State don't just have one David Bell. They got 4 David Bells. When they play Penn State got Jawan Dotson as well, and they got some other wide receivers. So they're going to have to fix it fast.
Yeah, on the flip side, I have no respect for Purdue. I just don't, because you thrive in playing the David versus Goliath role, and you can only knock off folks, and that makes your season. And their whole program has been that way for Lord knows when. So you got to, if you want to be a good team, don't hey, we beat the number 5, number 10, number 2 ranked team, and then they have parties and rush the field. They do that once a year.
Stan, to your point, we put up the stat yesterday. Purdue has 17 wins against top 10 teams or top 5 teams.
Top 5.
Number 1 in the country,
ever.
Purdue. Nobody else has beaten top 5.
They got 2 this year.
And how many Big Ten championships do they have?
Exactly. That's
Their last
stating
Big
your
Ten
point.
championship is 1998, by the way.
That is stating your point. There's no doubt about that.
Who was their quarterback then?
Drew Brees.
Absolutely.
And look at, for Michigan and Michigan State, too, and Michigan gets a 29-7 win over Indiana. Kind of a, I don't want to say sloppy game, just boring game. Very boring game. Michigan's got to do something about their red zone offense. You cannot kick field goals every time you're in the red zone. They have got to start scoring some touchdowns here if they want to be serious about winning at Penn State, if they want to be serious about beating Ohio State. And we saw that, we see it with the Lions every week, but we're seeing it with Michigan. You cannot settle for field goals when you've got to score a touchdown.
What I'm seeing out of Michigan football is it's intriguing. It's a good to a certain extent, but it can be bad. And what I mean by that is it just seems like they're slow strolling early on in games, with the exception of Northern Illinois and Washington. But it seems like every other game this year, they kind of slow stroll into it, don't necessarily look exactly into it, like they have it figured out, like they have it going on. And then they start, they get a touchdown, they get a couple stops, and slowly as the game shifts into the third and then the end of the game, you look up and they covered the spread. They put up points on the board. They were able to get rushing yards with Corum and Haskins. It seems like they're outlasting teams, and it seems like they're playing a level of football where they're just wearing teams down. Like, it seems early on they're making some mistake in the coaching, but it seems like they're wearing teams down in the end until finally they kick the door and then it's the game over.
I don't think Jim Harbaugh is comfortable by not being who he is. And being who he is a bit outdated in today's football. And he's going to always have a good enough team to be competitive most of the time, although some would argue what kind of teams he prepared in the last 4 or 5 years. But I think he's not comfortable by not coming away with something. We're in field goal range, we'll at least got a field goal. Well, that has cost him more than once. And you got to make sure that, okay, I'm inside the 25-yard line. I still got to make sure that we can put the ball in the air and not be so predictable and just settle for field goals.
One of the storylines yesterday, Stan, and I want to get your take. I want to take a break. When we come back, I want to get your take on Jim Harbaugh answering the question about the Big Ten officials. So what did you make of that? And then Mel Tucker kind of took a shot, I believe.
Kind of my butt. He took a mean shot. That was a torpedo.
Took a shot at Jim Harbaugh for answering an asked question. Also, top 4, who's it going to be tonight? Where will Michigan State fall? Where will Michigan rise to? We'll let you simmer on that. This is Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Work. There you go.
My mic works.
Okay.
All right, Maz. We'll get you up. Does that mic not work? I'm sorry. Oh, it just died. Okay, thank you for that. We'll get your mic
I hate
corrected.
when the microphone dies.
You know
like
what that is? He's just trying to get on the dais too. He's trying to add a seat so we have 4 people up here.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about it. So we'll check in with our friends from MyBookie momentarily, and the look on your face, Maz, here is just so great. Mike, you got nothing.
How do you not?
Yesterday, Stan, Jim Harbaugh said that the Big Ten admitted that they made a mistake talking about the officials, and he has kind of gotten crucified for that on the other side, right? Michigan State has complained. Mel Tucker says we don't do that over here. We don't complain about bad officials. That's what soft programs do. A clear shot at Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Just your whole take regarding that situation yesterday.
So if I am Jim Harbaugh and we lost the game the way they lost against Michigan State, absolutely myself and or Ward Manuel was calling the Big Ten office. Say, hey, you can't do this. You cannot allow your team to be fleeced like that because it may cost your program $1 million somewhere along the line. So you have to speak up for your team. Now, when you come back a few days later and you're in a press conference and the question's asked, I don't know that I think it makes sense to me address to say, yeah, they agreed and they apologized. I don't know where you go from there. I don't know the reason for that. I certainly would not have done that, but I absolutely would have tried to find out what the Big Ten is going to do about this. But I don't know that I say it publicly now. Now with Mel Tucker coming back and say, programs that do that are soft, that's fine. And that's fine. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I don't think he thinks that much of it himself. But I think when Mel Tucker signed on to be the coach of Michigan State, that they said, Mr. Tucker, we're going to agree to all your terms and your money. Here's your contract. Oh, don't sign it yet. Do you hate Michigan? Yes, sign right there. And so he's going to play. He's going to play the game too. Yeah. He's going to call us everything but a child of God, except Big Brother. And so he's going to do this. And so I think that's a little bit about nothing. I just wish Coach Harbaugh had not mentioned that the Big Ten had made that statement.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that he would have, because here we talked about this yesterday, Dan. You weren't here. Every college coach, and every NFL coach, after every game, there's a list of plays. They have their call sheet. They have their list of plays. They look at them. Penalties. They look at them, and then they circle ones that they think were questionable, and they send them in. That way, they're teaching tapes. That way, you can tell your player you were wrong or you were right. You send them in. So this is going to happen regardless. After every game. So that happens after every game. To your point, would not have said it, would not have addressed it, would not have let Angelique address it, because she addressed it because he wanted her to, so that he could say that, hey, boom, boom, boom. Now, with Mel Tucker, I mean, it is what it is.
He's supposed to look at it. He's supposed to say something about it. I disagree. He made, what did he mention? 30 seconds of it? That's fine.
Sure.
He mentioned it. Look, the Big Ten said they messed up. They messed up on a few plays. Everyone knows the Big Ten officials, they're not very good.
No officials are very good. You see the game last night?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what does it do for you? But yes, like
at least your fans know it.
But your fans already knew.
It didn't bother me as a fan. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Maz, I agree with you because he didn't open up the press conference with him.
Right.
Hey guys, this is what happened. I wouldn't have addressed it. I'd have said, that's between administration and that. But he did address it, and I don't think it's that huge of a deal personally.
Let MSU do what they do because that's what they do.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
What about the playoffs? The college
we're about to be ranked ahead of them anyway. So
football playoff is tonight, and
wake up, Alex.
It'll be week 2. And by the way, does anybody care about the AP poll anymore?
No.
Like, I see Cincinnati is still like number 2 in the AP poll, and I'm thinking to myself, nobody cares about what some writer thinks about where your team is ranked. Where Michigan is 9, or Michigan State's 8, or BYU's 14. Doesn't matter.
Don't poo-poo the top 25. That's how I grew up.
I understand.
I want to see the top 25.
I understand,
still.
but it makes no difference. Back when you grew up, the AP poll mattered.
Yes, and the UPI.
And yes, exactly. Now the only thing that matters is this college football playoff ranking, and we get week 2 of that tonight. How far will the Spartans drop? Will Michigan go up at all? Last week it was Georgia, Alabama, Michigan State, and Oregon were the top 4 teams. Clearly it would seem that Oregon would slide up to number 3 and Ohio State would jump into number 4 tonight, right?
Yeah, I think so. Side note, Michigan will go in front of in front of Michigan State. If not, next Tuesday, lunch is on me. Here's what I think that the voters are going to do. I think they're going to make it really difficult for the teams that they don't want there in the first place. Michigan is a great brand, and every time we get close to sniff it, they'll try to slide us in. I think Michigan State will definitely be in the top 10. But I didn't have my glasses on. Where is Cincinnati ranked?
Cincinnati was ranked 6th. I don't think
I'm
they
not
might
so
move
sure.
down.
I think Cincinnati will move down.
They should.
Or honestly, do you think that Michigan State should be above or below Cincinnati? Because do we have last week's rankings up, Alex? Give me 1 second. We'll get those for you.
What's the difference, man?
Because what I'm saying is this: if Michigan was ranked 7, Cincinnati's game against Tulsa, they nearly lost that game.
Yeah.
They nearly lost. Forget about blowing it out at style points. They were 22.5-point favorite. Here, if you're watching on YouTube, this is last week's playoff ranking. If you're watching on YouTube, Cincinnati's at 6. I think Michigan goes above Cincinnati now because of how poor Cincinnati's effort was against Tulsa.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
Will Michigan State fall to 9, perhaps?
No way.
Because you could go Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan at 5, Cincinnati at 6, Oklahoma at 7.
Oklahoma's better than Cincy.
Oklahoma had a bye week. What did they do to improve? And then Wake Forest lost. So Notre Dame, I don't know. Is Notre Dame going in front of Michigan State? It's going to be really interesting to see how far Michigan State falls tonight.
I'm trying to remember exactly what you said. So in the scenario you just gave, Ohio State goes where?
4.
Ohio State goes where? Michigan goes 5. Georgia and Alabama 1, 2.
Yep.
Ohio State goes
Oregon
with
3.
And I think you're exactly right because it takes the committee off the hook.
Yep.
Because they're going to
play each other.
They're going to play each other, so they're off the hook there.
Yep.
So certain teams they don't have to worry about, and in that way, I think it lets them off the hook to some degree. Now, what they decide to do with Cincinnati because of that, they're going to move them down far enough. Mm-hmm. So the loser between Michigan and Ohio State and loser between Georgia and all that doesn't fall behind Cincinnati. Right. So Cincinnati is going to be moved low enough. So after those two teams play out, the loser will still be in front of them.
What did I tell you guys before the college football was announced? Before they announced the rankings, the first rankings, what did I tell you they were going to do with Cincinnati? I said they're going to put them in 6. They're going to put them around 5-6.
Right.
They're going to put them in there just to shut people up. But then they're going to slowly but surely move
That's
them
exactly
out.
what you said.
So they do it so smooth. It's like you won't even hear people talking about Cincinnati in 2 weeks.
Right.
Like Cincinnati will be an afterthought in about 2 weeks. They're like, okay, go down to 7.
SMU's going to beat them.
Go down to 9. Go down to 12 and get out of here because they're going to lose. SMU is going to beat them.
They had game day this week from Cincy. Luke Fickell was front and center. They did everything on Cincinnati, and then they go lay that egg against Tulsa.
You know who nobody is talking about right now? The University of Notre Dame.
That's correct.
A one-loss Notre Dame team that probably will run the table. Will run the table the rest of the way. They blew out Navy. Largest margin of victory against Navy was this weekend. Yep. Nobody's talking about it. You want to talk about a brand? Is a playoff committee keeping out a one-loss Notre Dame team? Because I bet you anything, the committee is rooting for Georgia to beat Alabama.
But the problem with that,
if you could get a Michigan/Ohio State combination in Notre Dame, Georgia, and
Oregon.
I don't know if they care about Oregon, but
the problem will be this, and this is where Cincinnati sneaks back up into the horizon. Let's say everybody wipes each other out in the top, and then but Notre Dame stays undefeated. They run the table, and Cincinnati stays undefeated. How can you argue putting Notre Dame over Cincinnati?
That's the argument, Braylon, because here's 3 scenarios.
They beat them. It doesn't matter if Cincinnati is undefeated and Notre Dame, and it gets to a point where you're like one or the other. When they're sitting like 4 or 5, they're sitting 3-4. You can't put Cincinnati over. You can't put Notre Dame over Cincinnati.
How the argument will happen is you push, to your point, you got to push Cincinnati back far enough. Because if you push Cincinnati back far enough and Notre Dame is 6 tonight, Notre Dame will be in the championship.
I don't disagree with you, Stan.
Yeah.
Look, can you rank to Braylon? You bring up an excellent point.
I don't like Cincinnati. I don't like the smaller teams. I never have. I never will. But I tell you like this: if they would have pulled that BS on Cincinnati with the Notre Dame pull at the end when it was all said and done, if somehow they got to that point, if they did something like that, I would never care about this thing again.
If you just look within the top 10 right now, when you see these rankings tonight, Could you rank Michigan above Michigan State?
Yes.
Could you rank Notre Dame above Cincinnati?
Not yet.
And can you rank brain fart here? Ohio State above Oregon.
I think you can rank Ohio State over Oregon. I think you
not gonna. Well, that's gonna be 3-4 probably.
You can rank Michigan over Michigan State just from the simple fact Michigan's only loss is to Michigan State, that was number 3, and then they lost to Purdue. So ipso facto, Notre Dame and Cincinnati. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I just think that they're gonna rank Notre Dame over Cincinnati tonight.
I agree
because
with
just
you.
to get it out of the way, because if they let Cincinnati hang around,
now it's
they
more
got
people.
problems.
Yeah,
they got major
same
problems.
thing.
I got everything solved for you guys. You ready?
Right. Yes, sir.
Alex, put up my college football playoff, will you please? Here comes the college football playoff that you should be giving a damn about.
God.
What's this?
The Roadrunners are in. I see the Roadrunners are in
Those
there.
are the only 4 unbeaten teams
UTEP.
in the nation.
Texas, San Antonio.
Ugh.
I just wanted to see those teams up there.
UTEP. Now, why don't UTEP or UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio? Why don't they complain like Cincinnati does? UTSA has a larger strength of schedule, bigger strength of schedule than Cincinnati does.
Well, probably because they're not ranked as high as as
I know, but
Cincinnati
why?
is.
Why not?
Because they live in Texas and not Ohio, and people in Ohio are not rap tight. That's why they don't complain enough.
Hey, remember when Coastal Carolina was a player too, and they dropped out. The Chanticleers.
Guys, I want to stick with this college football playoff if I can, because I think there's a lot going on and there's a lot to sort out. We'll stay with it. Also going to get to the NFL. Last night's game, the officiating in the National Football League and in college football is
There's
too
another
much,
flag.
Too much is on the line for God
Throw that
calls to
flag.
get.
There it is.
Flag on the
Could
play.
have changed it a lot
Flag
last
on the
night.
play.
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for our studio sponsors, MyBookie.ag. It's where I put my bets in. I bet the Breeders' Cup last Saturday and Friday right there on MyBookie. Got my money back, hit my trifecta in the last race, got that Breeders' Cup Classic in the bank. NFL last night, loved the Bears +7. They paid off as well, and you can get it too. Matter of fact, if you're a first-timer with these guys, with MyBookie, you just put in the promo code Woodward. Woodward, they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. That's use the promo code Woodward at MyBookie, and they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money in your pocket. Don't forget to take care of that right now. And if you refer some friends, you got a referral link too, so you get 250% bonus. Once they hit their bonus number, you're going to get 250% of what they put in. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Speaking of friends, my boy Haroon just hit me up on a text there and said you're killing it right now. He says you're on fire.
We appreciate the support Haroon and everybody else gives here
Day one,
on
guys.
Woodward Sports. Absolutely. Want to bring this up regarding the college football playoff rankings, and I firmly disagree with this, but I think it's fine because, again, it'll all play itself out. CBS Sports has come out with a CFP ranking tonight. Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Oregon 3, Ohio State 4, Michigan State 5.
Oh, my.
Michigan 6. Cincinnati drops to 7. Oklahoma stays at 8. Notre Dame 9. Texas A&M into the top 10. So that's what they suggest. They have Michigan State falling from 3 to 5. Again, 4, 5, 6, Ohio State, Michigan. It will all work itself out, but they're giving Michigan State a lot of respect there.
They're giving them way too much respect, in my opinion. When you lose to an unranked team, Purdue is unranked.
Purdue is unranked.
Yeah, you
just outside the 25.
They're
But that's
unranked.
unranked.
So I think they should fall much more than that. That's just me.
Yeah.
But if it was Alabama would not have fallen that far either because of their brand. So maybe Michigan State are where they should be. I don't know.
But I think you're talking about losing early in the year versus losing now. Like, we're getting to that later stage. This is week 10. This is week 10 and you're losing games. Like, they should have moved down further than that. But you know what? It really doesn't matter because it will right itself. It will correct itself. And we're still waiting for the rankings tonight. The interesting team that we really haven't talked about, because Ryan hates them so much and wrote them off early in the year, they're still sitting undefeated. And they got Caleb Williams playing at a higher level that Spencer Rattler could have ever played at, and we're talking about Oklahoma. Oklahoma plays Baylor this coming Saturday. Baylor is ranked 12 in the country. Oklahoma is ranked 8. You want to see how good Oklahoma and Caleb Williams are? Pay attention to this game because they could be the ones to really shake it up. And like you said, nobody looks invincible. Oklahoma with Caleb Williams, they could be something special.
But they're playing at noon. So is Michigan. Ryan's going to be on one channel. I know that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Oklahoma because they, too, I believe, will at least have a chance now to get back into the conversation because they really haven't played anybody at all season long. Now, though, they do start to play a couple of ranked teams. First and foremost, as you mentioned, number 12, Baylor going to get a shot now. So we'll see.
Baylor get a crack at it. Then they'll have to play Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. So that's another team to look out because that's the team nobody wants to go undefeated. Oklahoma is a team you don't want to go undefeated because that leaves more space for Ohio State. It leaves space for Michigan State, Michigan, Notre Dame. If Oklahoma goes undefeated, that kind of messes a lot of that up.
Well, I'm having issues with the charade that keeps being played on teams like Cincinnati. I don't know that Cincinnati needs to be there or not. I suggest that they are only because we need to tell the Cincinnatis of the world that you're never going to play for a national championship. Right. So let's not
under this format.
Not under this format. And so we do these things, this song and dance throughout the year. Who have they played? They look how they lost and barely lost, and now they're falling down and they haven't lost a game, but Michigan State, they got beat by an unranked team and they don't fall as far. So we got to stop doing this. We either going to have the Cincinnatis of the world not be for the national championship in this format, have a separate championship for those teams or not. So we still don't have to go through this conversation.
Or we can go back to how it used to be in the 70s and 80s where we knew none of the Big Ten teams were going for a national championship anyway. Right. We were just playing for the Rose Bowl back in the 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if Michigan State is still in front of Michigan. I would be. I'm not saying that that's not the right thing to do,
right.
But I would think that Michigan State's getting a lot of support, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Michigan didn't fall so far, because of how much respect the committee has given Michigan State.
But think about this also, and then my memory serves correctly, this may have happened in the past. It's with Alabama, and they're playing another SEC team. If they're 1-2,
Georgia,
and it's a close game, that loser might not fall past 4.
Sure, no doubt.
LSU and Alabama and Georgia,
right?
Take your pick. Yeah, I think from the standpoint of a logistical standpoint, if I'm the committee or if I'm a member on the committee, I can't be the whole committee. If this was the committee, this is us, and from my point of view, I'm gauging the Michigan. Whether should they be? Should they be ahead of Michigan State? Should they be behind Michigan State? I look at it like this. 2 plays, and it's a different score in the Michigan State game. And it was a hell of a game all the way to the end. You look at Michigan State, they're going to lose to Purdue's a tough place to play when you're ranked high. It is what it is. You say what you want to. It's a tough place to play. I get that. But with that being said, it still remains they were unranked. It still remains they were an unranked team. They beat you right after you got this high ranking. I'm looking at that. I'm saying that tells me that you guys can't handle pressure. That tells me you guys can't handle the pressure. So why am I going to put this team that went tooth and nail? It's kind of like since you talked about Apollo Creed earlier, it's like Rocky 2.
Pain.
They both hit the canvas. Michigan State got up first. They were the only ones to get up.
Vegas knew, right? They said 2.5. The minute after Michigan lost to Michigan State at East Lansing, Vegas put up 2.5 points on Purdue. And I looked, I'm like, whoa, they must know something I don't know right away.
You look at that. Yeah, I'm saying you just look at that. You look at Michigan State. The rest of their schedule, they have to play They have to play 2 more teams that can really pass the ball well. It's gonna be tough for them.
Here is your doomsday scenario that will put a nail in the college football playoff 4-team coffin right now. If Alabama beats Georgia, Georgia and Alabama are getting in.
Yep.
Right? What happens if you have Ohio State run the table, win the Big Ten championship, Oregon run the table, win the Pac-12 championship, Oklahoma run the table, win the Big 12 championship?
Be undefeated, though.
Undefeated. You have an
Notre Dame.
You have an undefeated Cincinnati and a 1-loss Notre Dame team. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that could have a legitimate claim to a college football playoff. Which 3 teams are you keeping out?
You've just blown it up. That's the blow up. That's what everybody is waiting for. They're waiting for that scenario so that we can kiss this system goodbye.
Well, interesting enough, I don't know when the system expands, and it will over time, does it expand to 2 more teams or to 6 more teams, possibly 4 more teams?
I think 12 is the best. I think the 12-team playoff is the best. You could have 4 byes, top 4, and let 5 through 12 play.
I like 6. Because you just said right now, the scenario you gave right now, you can take Cincinnati out of that scenario anyway. You got your 6 right there.
But you could do a
I
power
want the
5.
more the merrier.
You could do a power 5 champions. A group of 5.
But then
champion.
But then you get
a couple of wild cards.
My only issue is having played college football. Then you get to the issue where now you're stacking them. Now I got to play more games. Now we get more injuries.
No, you don't play more games. You change the schedule.
You do play more games.
You play like Division II. You play like Wayne State, and they do. If they can do it, this can do it.
What exactly is their scheduling and how they do it?
I'm sure they take away some non-conference games that they play.
So they don't play 12.
Play the passes.
So they don't play 12 games.
I don't really know.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You definitely don't need to play a conference championship game.
You don't need that either. That's bull.
So that's an
a money
extra game.
maker. That's a money maker. They ain't getting rid of that.
You don't have to play.
So you guys are saying expand the playoff,
Yes.
but not expand the number of games you're going to play.
Maybe
Correct.
play 14,
Maybe
15
one more.
games.
Maybe one more.
So are we playing in past Thanksgiving now? Are we playing
they do that
around
now.
Christmas and Ken's Junior?
We still are right
What
now.
about
They do that
midterms and finals?
Don't worry about
What
that.
about that? What about
What
that?
is that?
I told
What is
you,
that?
They never care about the schooling of young kids.
So we won't have to wait long. 9 p.m. tonight is the college football playoff rankings.
Why
so
late? Yeah, why late?
9 o'clock tonight.
It was
It sounded like
7:30 the
the World
last time.
Series.
No, that's because of college basketball. They're
basketball
doing the
tonight.
Michigan State game at 7. They do the college football at 9, and then 9:30 is the second
right.
game. It's
Silence, Fish.
Duke.
Hey, he's breaking it down.
He
You
is.
asked
He's-
why.
he's-
He's
Fish,
giving
keep
you
it going.
why.
He had
You
it
keep
going.
talking, Fish.
It's,
Good job by
is it
you.
Duke and Kentucky?
Duke and
9:30.
Kentucky,
Kentucky, they're
9:30
9 and 10.
before that game. Speaking of games, I got to get to before we let you go. This Chicago Pittsburgh game last night was almost decided by the officials, and that isn't Ryan Ermanni being
It
like,
was decided by the officials.
The officials. Legitimately nearly decided by the officials last night. Want to get your guys' take. Ermanni and Edwards.
I think it was decided by the officials. Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. On the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Hey, gang, if you can't tell, I got a nice
got that French cut.
hot lather neck shave today. I got a cut. Thanks to my girl Becca out there. We here at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men are wicked awesome. That's because we make things simple. We keep them simple. It's a 3-step process here. All you got to do, you walk in, you sign in, you sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Walk in and look like Ryan Ermanni. Wicked awesome. Lady Jane's.
It's wicked
Is that
awesome.
too much? Was that too much of a... That was over the top.
Over the top.
Too
Hey.
much. I apologize to Chad Johnson and everybody at Lady Jane's.
You know you my boy. That was too much.
That was too much.
That was too much.
That was gross.
Hey, look at this, guys. If you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening on the radio, we'll explain for you what we're seeing. The officials last night on Monday Night Football, Tony Correnti, essentially side checks, hip checks, this special teams player, this nobody special teams player, Marsh. What's his first name? Doesn't matter.
That's Cassius
Marsh. Seriously, and the officials throw a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty to have Pittsburgh keep the ball.
That was a sack. He got a sack. So basically, he got a sack on the play, and the call wasn't thrown because he bumped the referee. The referee was already reaching for the flag.
I think that was the fourth down punt. That was a punt.
No, it was third down.
Third down.
Look what he does here. Look. This is what he does.
He does this. So he's going to the Pittsburgh sideline. He's getting hype. He's emotion. He's in the game. You know how it is. You get a good play. You make a good play. Like, that's part of the game. You grow up that way. You've been doing that since you were 5 years old.
Yep.
You've been doing that. He's not bad-mouthing anybody. He's not throwing anything. He's not throwing up middle fingers or expletives or things like that. He's excited. This is a big moment. This is Monday night. This is prime time. He was on the practice squad before this game.
And guess who cut him?
Just got activated.
Guess who cut him?
They did not cut him.
The Steelers.
Oh.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I'm saying. He just got activated. This was nothing more than emotion. The game breeds emotion. Every game, every sport, it breeds a level of emotion. It's not fair to penalize this man. Now, understand, on the other hand, you're like, we put the rules in. We said no taunting. So he clearly walked towards that sideline.
He taunted.
I get that. I understand that. But that cost them the game.
Yep, it did.
That cost them the game.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that the referee wasn't trying to insert himself into the game. He did have his hand on the flag before he
was
made
going to throw
contact.
it. Yes.
But he had time to pull the flag and throw it before he had gotten to him. It looks like he was thinking about it, and once the brush came, it's like, okay.
He spoke after the game, Correnti, because you have to talk to the pool reporters after the game. And he said the bump he didn't even know he got bumped. He said it had nothing to do with it.
He's lying.
He said the kid was
He knew he
taunting.
got bumped because he turned his head and looked.
They want them to call taunting. That's what they're doing. They'll change it, of course, next year, but the Bears can't get that game back.
Can I say this, though, about Cassius Marsh?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, I understand you're like, what are you doing? Right. Nobody even knows your name. Right. You're a special teams player. Like,
that was a sack.
Whatever. Okay, fine. Even a sack. Even if it was a Rudy sack.
You tell us all these stories about what you did in high school.
I understand
at the high
that.
school level. You don't think that man was excited to get a sack in a primetime game, in a primetime moment with the team that cut him?
Braylon,
oh, hell no, Ryan.
Go back to your own sideline and celebrate with your teammates then. And again, I don't think the flag should have been thrown at all. However, there's no reason to walk over to the Pittsburgh sidelines and even go as far as he did over to the Pittsburgh sidelines. There's no reason for it.
Yes, there is reason. Because you, MFers, cut me. And guess what? I just got you back.
And that's fine. But, again, this is...
It cost the team.
It cost the team. The flag shouldn't have been thrown. But Braylon, you know... Pro Bowl receiver Braylon Edwards, you can get away with a little tugging and pulling and all that stuff.
I don't do none of that. I'm physical.
But, okay, you can get around with being physical at the line. Good old Tom Kennedy's going to get called for offensive pass interference. Okay? For the same thing.
Lions cut him, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I saw that today. Lions cut Tom Kennedy, poor guy. But why even put yourself in that position?
Fish, you've had your hand up for a while. My bad, baby.
Well, slightly off topic, but this is the Division II season, so it starts. This is from 2019, but it starts.
Why I call on you, Fish?
It starts from August 31 to November 16, and the playoffs from November 23 to December 21.
Put your hand down. Put your hand down and shut your mic off.
You wanted Division II. I had to fact check to make sure No, me and Maz are good. We talk. That's how we talk to each other.
Hey, Fish has been on it today, man. Like, Fish has been bringing us the info. He's been bringing us.
Did you go to the gas station for Braylon and I yet?
I will. You want me to go now? It's nice and dark
go
out
ahead,
there.
so you can be quiet.
Seriously,
Ryan,
I mean,
calming down. You're 100% right. I was a little.
What are you
uptight.
doing, Cassius?
I was a little uptight because I mean, you're taking the emotion out of the game to a certain extent, and you're putting it all in the referee
for that.
I calm
It's a
down
lousy rule.
But even in the college level and in the NFL level, you're giving these refs too much power, man. They are deciding games out here, man. They have to do so. Even in the NBA. Like, they're trying to change the NBA. Look at the stuff like James Harden. Like, they're fouling these individuals now, trying to keep up with the Olympic level game, like the world basketball game. Like, they're tougher now, and it's throwing players off. You got to take the ball out the referee's hand. You're giving them way too much power, giving them way too much time. They're going to decide games.
I agree with you on that.
I got an update on Odell Beckham. It's closing in, another hour to go.
He's not going to get weight. He's not going to get
picked
up.
I don't know why somebody wouldn't pick him up, to be honest. If you want him, why not pick him up? Anyway, if he goes through waivers, he becomes a free agent at 4. His number one destination, he has put it out, is the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Huh?
You know why nobody will claim that? Because you're legitimately picking up $7.7 million for 9 games and potential playoff, because obviously it's going to be a playoff contender. Potential playoffs, 9 games, $7.7 million, and you don't get to keep him at the end of the season. He's an unrestricted
you might
free
sell him.
agent. You can't sell him.
What I mean by selling him is you sell him on your team. He stays. He wants to stay.
That's $1.125 million per game. If you're Aaron Rodgers and you're the Green Bay Packers, we had Wayne Larrivee on with us in advance of the Lions-Packers game. What did Wayne Larrivee say?
The
Packers have pushed everything they had to the middle of the table for this season to win a Super Bowl, because beginning next season, they're out.
By the way,
is just way too over the.
Before Stan leaves, he had a good story off the air for me, and I wanted to see if he could bring it up to me. The guy that's going to replace Aaron Rodgers is Jordan Love. You had a chance to see Jordan Love, didn't you, Stan?
I did, and to Braylon's point, he may not be. I think last night was a great example of Jordan Love may have gotten his first, last, and only audition in the NFL last night. 2 years ago, I was at the NFL Combine with a family friend, Tristan Jackson. Wanted me to come down there and kind of watch this little speed and get him ready for the 40-yard dash.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State. So we went. I'd say I have Michigan State friends. So we went into this ballroom inside the convention center to kind of get fired up and work on stuff. There were a group of wide receivers, probably 50 yards away, just kind of throwing a football and everything and working out. And we're looking at them as we're kind of stretching, warming up. I was like, God, these guys, they need to go find themselves a quarterback, because none of these guys can throw. And somebody said, that's Jordan Love. We looked at each other like, you got to be kidding me. Not one time in that little session that I saw him in did he throw a spiral.
Wow.
And so I thought, okay, he may have not trained properly, may have been an off day. He may be coming off an injury. I don't know. Last night, I counted the spirals that he actually threw in the game, and it was probably about 6. Sunday. Everything else had a tail on it. And I am not surprised at the lack of production that he showed last night.
Wow.
He is not a good quarterback.
Wow, and they blew up their team for him, basically.
They made a huge mistake with him. Unless there's some metamorphosis or a quarterback guru that can change him, I don't see it happening in Green Bay.
2 things. One thing about Jordan Love is I forgot how good he was in that game against Michigan State. Like, I was trying to recall what put him on the map. And it was that game against Michigan State. I think Utah State opened up against Michigan State that year, almost beat them, and he had a really good game. I haven't seen any of that since. Nothing that resembles that game that they played in East Lansing. But the side note, the funny thing about Odell going to Green Bay, if that happens, they may pull the trigger on that, because then it would calm all this stuff down with Aaron Rodgers and the vaccination. It would be a distraction. You know, we talked about distractions with Urban Meyer. This would be a distraction. You know, all right, now you got Odell. Oh, you don't have to talk about the vaccination and, you know, quoting Martin Luther King. The hell was he thinking? Things of that nature. Now you got Odell. Now you can focus on trying to win the Super Bowl.
The best thing that ever happened to Urban Meyer?
Oh, man.
John Gruden.
John Gruden.
You know what I'm saying?
Like keeps having John Gruden, Ruggs, Damon Arnett.
If you just, that one big story that's
you
happening
forgot about that.
You forgot about Urban Meyer.
Because so
right?
much has happened. Damon Arnett just got released. Ruggs.
Exactly.
You know, when John Gruden said what he said, Urban Meyer cashed that to him. So thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Exactly.
They didn't quit on him either. They won a game.
Yeah, they
did. Stan Edwards, we certainly appreciate your expertise in studio with us on Tuesdays. It is so great to be with you. Certainly appreciate your perspective on all topics.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week. Hopefully.
Hey, Fish, come
with
see.
lunch, you said.
We'll see. I'm a man of my word. We'll see.
We'll see those college football playoff rankings tonight. I don't even remember what you said.
That's good.
Ermanni Network, Woodward Sports Network.
Tucker Barnhart next, Tigers.
Oh man, let's do Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse. Make sure you check them out. Go see Chris and Noni Hutt down there in Hamtramck. Tell them Maz sent you. Folding, the original folding football game. You throw a football at the bowling pins, and it's a fun time. Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with friends and family. 2 ways to play: $10 unlimited open play. You can stay the whole time that they're open, or a private lane reservation. It costs $120 for 10 people for 2 hours. It's a lot of fun. They have over 100 beers and their mystery $2 beer machine. Put $2 in, and it kicks out a nice beer for you, and you drink it and have a great time. And not only that,
good.
multiple full bars, and you can bring your own food in, even have it delivered. It's all you. Come get your fold on. Check it out at thefoldingwarehouse.com.
I love folding, but the very first time I went, I wasn't good. And I couldn't figure out why I wasn't good. Here I am, football player, can throw the ball. I played quarterback in high school, the whole 9 yards. It's because I've never been used to throwing the ball at the ground. Like when you fold, you legitimately are throwing the ball at the ground, or you can loft it up.
Exactly.
So I had to come up with my own, strategy and my formula. But I'm a lofter.
I threw my arm out one time.
You know who would be a good foaler? Tucker Barnhart. Because he's always throwing down to second base. Got to get it at the bag, nailing
there
him.
You go.
We are so excited for this because I think, admittedly, Braylon and I are Tigers fans. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why we got into the business that we did. Tucker Barnhart, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, newest Tigers catcher, on the line with us now. Tucker, thanks so much for the time. And first of all, how does that sound? Tucker Barnhart, Tigers catcher. You've spent your whole life with one organization, the Cincinnati Reds.
It's going to take some adjusting and some getting used to, but I like it. I'm excited for the change. I'm excited to be a part of the Detroit Tigers organization and do anything I can to help this team win.
Tucker, welcome to the city. From one Detroit guy to the new Detroit Tiger. Welcome to the city. City is glad to have you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
I'm excited. I'm a big Tigers fan. We talked about it early on. My dad was still on the show. Talked about going down to before Comerica Park, going down to Michigan and Trumbull. But I remember going to Comerica Park when it first opened, when we also got a catcher, and Pudge Rodriguez, who came and helped the Tigers go to the World Series in 2006, I believe it was, man. So,
you got it.
So I look at your resume, stacks up pretty nice, man. So I hope that's you.
Well, I appreciate that. To be mentioned in that kind of category, is put some pressure on me, but I'm excited for it. Pudge, man, I looked up to him growing up. I watched him play as much as I possibly could. Actually, behind me you can't see it, but I have a Texas Rangers Pudge jersey hanging on my wall that he signed for me. So I hope and wish that I could do a little bit of what he did in Detroit, and like I said, help this team win in any way that I possibly can.
Talking to Tucker Barnhart, newest Tigers catcher. Tucker, you were a guy that was identified by this organization that could help them immediately. They didn't even want you to have a chance to test, hit the market. They wanted to make a trade for you. When you feel that wanted by an organization, what is that experience like?
Well, it's humbling, first of all. It for an organization. I mean, I came from Cincinnati, who's was the first professional baseball team, going to another one of the older teams in all of baseball in Detroit. Just to be a part of something so special is definitely humbling in first and foremost. But speaking with Al and with AJ Hinch, with Chris Fetter, you can tell how much they genuinely are excited for me to be a part of the organization, and it means a lot to me. It really does. I talked with AJ the day that the trade happened, and I really appreciate. I mean, him, a former catcher, I really appreciate how he views the position of a catcher and what he thinks it can do to a team to a game, because I echo what he says, how integral and impactful that this position can be, and to be in an organization, not saying that the Reds didn't feel that way, because I know they did, but to be in another organization that views catching as important as they do, it means a lot to me, and it means even more to me that I was the guy that they wanted to be that behind the plate for them. So I'm excited, and I can't wait to get to work.
Tucker Barnhart joins us, the newest Tigers catcher. Cannot wait to have him here. Can't wait for spring training already. I know the World Series just happened, but I'm a junkie. I love watching baseball, and it's great to have you here, a catcher, man. Finally got a catcher. We got a guy named Eric Haas here last year. Came up from AAA. His mother actually drove him to the ballpark from Toledo to play in his first major league game. The guy goes crazy. Not only that, uncanny likeness to you too, Tucker. Have you had a chance to talk to Eric Haas?
I haven't yet. I look forward to that conversation, or those conversations, because I think that gone are the days where you lean on one catcher for the majority of a season. And so I by no means think that I'm going to come in here and literally play every single day and be the only guy that puts on catcher's gear for the Detroit Tigers. I mean, that would be ridiculous and naive of me to think that way. So the team needs both of us. The team needs both myself and Eric to contribute at a high level and prepare at a high level. And I haven't had that conversation yet with him, but I look forward to it. He was with Cleveland before Detroit, I believe, and we crossed paths in spring training a little bit out in Arizona, but not a lot. But I'm excited to work with him and pick his brain on how he feels about catching, and hopefully we can make each other better.
You know, it's interesting, Tucker, that, Matt just talked about AAA and coming up to the big leagues. I was just sitting here looking at, I had to do a little bit more research, make sure I was very prepared when you came on today. And I've always been intrigued about AA, AAA, playing, getting drafted, but then your rookie year, maybe 3-4 years later. Like, I was just reading, it said, this is 2014, mind you, debuted against the Cards April 3rd, then option to Louisville Bats April 7th, recalled back to the Reds May 1st, then when you hit your first home run, that was a big moment. Then you were optioned back to Louisville May 18th. Then you were recalled back to the Reds July 6th. And then you went back to Louisville July 11th. To go from that to Golden Globe in 17, Golden Globe in 20, to being highly sought after soon to be free agent, man. Like, what is the journey like? And how I mean, you said humbling earlier, but it's got to be a heck of a journey, man.
It has been, and it's not over with by any means. But it's just those.
Oh, this is the last team you'll play for. This is the last team. You're stuck here.
That'd be great. It's cool to think about, like, all the people that you've crossed paths with, and I mean, I've been fortunate to do some cool stuff in my career so far, and by no means is it over. But yeah, I mean, you think about those grinds of minor league seasons and riding on buses without air conditioning and staying in crappy hotels, and then you think about where we are now and where I'm so fortunate to be at now. I mean, I got two boys. I got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they both were on the field, and my wife included, to receive my Gold Glove last year. And there's a cool picture that I'll never forget, and I can't wait to explain it to him and show it to him in a few years when he really understands what a Gold Glove is, and not just that Daddy's going to work, but Daddy actually plays in the big leagues. It's a picture of my son. I'm holding my Gold Glove, and I'm getting it from Johnny Bench, and my son's looking at it like, holy cow, like that's a cool looking trophy. But like the meaning of it, I can't wait to explain it to him eventually, where he completely understands it. But it's just, I think about the people that I've been fortunate enough to be around, and I can't wait to embark on this new journey and this new grind and meet new people and win in another city, and hopefully we can do some really special things. I think what Detroit's built prior to me getting here has been special, and I think they're compiling so much talent that, like I said earlier, I hope I can just do a little bit to make everybody better and contribute in winning at the highest level.
And one of the reasons, Tucker Barnhart, that the Tigers are in the spot that they are moving forward and as competitive as they are is because of how quickly these young arms have developed, the young staff. What can you bring a young staff? I'm sure that's one of the parts of your game, the way you call a game, that attracted you to this organization, or attracted this organization to you, I should say. How do you think you help prepare the young staff?
Well, how much time you got?
We got another 40 minutes. How much longer do you have?
because it's and what I mean by that is I'm going to learn so much from those guys too, from AJ, from Chris Fetter, that I think where I start the season at from the knowledge perspective is not even going to be anywhere close to where I end it. I think experience. I mean, it would be the cliche thing that I think everybody would go to, but I mean that. I believe in that. I'm confident in the way that I prepare and the way that I see the game, and just kind of helping us all learn. I think that's the main thing to go about it. I've been fortunate enough to be around some really good coaches that have helped me out so much. And I'm just hopeful that I can pass along some of that information to guys. I grew up around my dad is a teacher. He was a teacher, and he still gives baseball lessons to this day. And he told me, it's like I remember him coming home in like after school, and he would talk about Johnny learning a math problem and how it made him smile, and how it, like, you could see it in his eyes, like he was excited that he like finally got it. And you could tell. And my dad would tell those stories and how excited he would be that he was able to impact somebody that way. And to me, when dealing with and how I relate this to pitchers is there's no greater feeling for me as a catcher to like see a younger guy out there that may be making his debut or in his first year or second year or whatever, and you get through a game and he throws 7 shutout, punches out 10 or 12, and it's like, holy cow, I didn't know I could do that, when in reality, it was always in there. It was just about just unlocking it and giving him that confidence that he could do it. And so I look forward to those opportunities so much, and I enjoy them so much that hopefully the experience piece will help instill that confidence in those guys, and we can get the best out of them.
Hey, Tucker, I wanted to ask you about the Tigers and the commitment to winning. This organization has never been afraid to spend money when they felt they had an opportunity to do so. Carlos Correa is a guy that's out there right now, $300 million over 10 years, maybe $320. The Tigers aren't afraid to spend that money. There's a relationship with A.J. Hinch, whether it's Carlos Correa or any one of the 5 shortstops that are out there. What has the organization said to you about their commitment to win? I know Justin Verlander is out there as well. The Tigers just saw him recently throw. Have they mentioned to you about a timetable of what they want to do in terms of bringing free agents in, building a championship contending team? Because what we saw last year was a couple of pieces here, man, and this thing could go for a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't had those conversations necessarily, but the way that I view it, kind of, when I wasn't with the organization, I was with the Reds, is when you bring in a guy like A.J. Hinch, you're on your way to winning in a very short period of time, in my opinion. You're not going to bring in a guy like A.J. and rebuild, is the way that I viewed it from the outside. And just, again, listening to the way that A.J. talked and how excited he was when I talked to him on the phone, I think the time is now for us to kind of go. I think I think it's there. I think we have good pieces, and to your point, it sounds like that they're going to be active in free agency. I don't know that for sure, and I don't want to overstep and speak on that when I don't know, but all signs have pointed that way, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited to win and to win a lot.
Tucker Barnhart joins us, Tigers Gold Glove catcher, the newest acquired from the Cincinnati Reds. I got something for you. Speaking of the Reds, we had a guy that played here, Nick Castellanos. I know you got to know him over there. We love Nick here. He didn't love our ballpark, though. He did love Detroit, but he didn't love Comerica Park. Did he tell you a little bit about Comerica Park? Because it ain't the Great American Ballpark. I can tell you that.
There's no doubt about that. It's not. Having played there a little bit, it's very obvious, very quick that it's not Great American Ballpark. The only thing that I would that comes to mind when he think about when he would mention Comerica is that a guy would hit a ball to center in Cincinnati and it'd be off the boat, or he'd hit a ball in BP that would hit off the boat above the batter's eye, and he was like, "Well, that's an F8 at Comerica." So, it made me laugh a little bit.
He hated this place.
Oh man, that's funny. I enjoy playing there. I'm excited to play there. I think it's going to help me out a lot. I hit a lot of doubles, so being able to continue to do that is going to help me out. There's not a lot of extra bases in Cincinnati. It's more homers or singles.
Exactly.
The way the ballpark is. So
just get used to hearing Comerica National Park. That's all.
Hey man, doubles are good too.
Hey, I'm a huge Catchers fan. I'm an old timer. Not really, but young at heart. I mean, I grew up watching Johnny Bench.
We keep him young.
Johnny
Bench, keep him young, okay? Tucker.
But my guy was Thurman Munson. And I saw you put out a tweet last week that your dad's guy was Thurman Munson. Who is your guy? Who did you, like, are you Yadi Molina? Who's your guy?
Well, I can say it now and not get as much grief about it. Yadi was my guy growing up. In Cincinnati, he's hated. So it was kind of like a sin to say that when people would ask me who my favorite catcher was growing up. So I kind of had to say Pudge, which Pudge is way up there. I just didn't see him play as much as I did Yachty. But yeah, Yachty, we developed kind of a working relationship. I wouldn't say we're friends necessarily, but a working relationship. We text each other, I would say, a couple times a year and go back and forth. And he was one of the first people that texted me in 2017 when I won my first Gold Glove, and that meant a lot to me when he did that. So Pudge was a guy that I watched a lot. Obviously, not as much as Yachty, just because it was closer to when I was in high school and things like that. And then obviously getting to play against him the last almost 8 years has been kind of a dream come true.
Cincinnati's a great baseball city. Detroit is a great baseball city. Tucker, we cannot thank you enough for your time here on Woodward Sports. We are certainly excited to have you. Best of luck and continued success. Hope to talk to you down the road.
Go get them.
I appreciate it, guys.
I'll be there opening day.
Oh, and Braylon,
I'll miss any opening days.
But before a long career in the NFL, Tucker, Braylon said he could have been a Major League Baseball player too, but he chose the NFL. So if you ever want to throw him BP,
it worked out.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
See you, Tucker.
Thanks, Tucker.
Man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it a lot, man.
Tucker Barnhart, two-time Gold Glove winner, newest Detroit Tiger. Certainly excited to have him on. Look, man.
Great guy. He's awesome. He's humble. He's excited to be here in Detroit. You know, being a Detroiter, we're all Detroiters. We're all Detroiters. Detroit sports means Detroit. No matter what city you live in, you're Detroit. We're all Detroiters. Like, when people want to be here, when they want to play for our franchises, oh, man, that endears us to them. Like, that type of attitude and that type of energy, just like Cade Cunningham.
1,000,000%.
They got it. They got it.
You get goosebumps. You're ready.
And the squid is great. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line just happened.
Come on.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, gang, I want to let you know about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You want to buy a car, don't worry about that chip shortage. They got you covered. They can get you anything you need. Also, on their pre-owned lot, any make, any model guaranteed. And if you don't want to buy a car, how about selling them your car? That's what you could do. Just walk in today, and you'll walk out with thousands. That's right. Sell them your car. It doesn't matter whether you lease it or own it. That's because Les Stanford is your authorized lease return center. So if you're coming up on those miles, you don't want to pay that extra fee, go ahead, turn your car in to Les Stanford Chevrolet. And you can call them today, 313-565-6000, 313-565-6000, or hit them up online, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, find new roads. How great is that? How great is it to talk a little baseball?
There you go.
I swear, I become a kid again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my birthday's in February. My birthday's like February 18th. Not like, it is February 18th. That's always
February 21st.
Pitchers and catchers. It's always pitchers and catchers,
February
man.
21st,
That's
man.
it.
See,
we got those same
right
weekend.
Here, man.
January 30th, so we're all kind of close here. Okay.
We all got lousy winter birthdays.
We do have a qualifier for today, Maz.
The man, Matt Ryle.
Matt Ryle.
You are entered in to our turkey games, and you have a shot to win Thanksgiving Day tickets to the Lions and the Bears. Not only that, front row Lions and Bears tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Classic. Make sure you check us out at the Tin Roof before you go across the street to Ford Field. We'll be there with Jade and the Riff.
What time is that show? 10:30 to 12:30?
That's 10:30 to 12:30. Kickoff 12:30.
Yeah, I would say you have a shot potentially get the tickets, but the Lions don't have a shot after what I saw last night out of Justin Fields.
No, man.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I am too.
I am too.
Because it looks like you saw him early on in the season, and it started with the preseason. You saw him get smacked against the Buffalo Bills. His helmet comes off. You see that happen. And then you see the way in which they went about the season with Matt Nagy, not playing him, not putting him in the best of situations, running game not being there, offensive line being terrible. It just looked bad. And you can see it in his eyes on the sideline. They had, countless pictures of him just, like this, just completely frustrated. So to be able to come back and get a win, well, not a win, but a moral victory on Monday Night Football, it was a good game for him.
One of the reasons why I am happy for Justin Fields, too, and again, moral victories, whatever, in the NFL. He played a really good game, specifically in the second half, is it just goes to show you that a really good player could be totally taken out because of the horrible coach that you have with the franchise that chooses you. What Matt Nagy did, I said this 3 months ago, he should have been fired on the spot. Because to say that Andy Dalton is your quarterback going in, when you know you take this kid first with your first-round pick, and you know that this is the shiny new piece, that Andy Dalton can't play.
And he proved that again last year when he came in for Dak Prescott and still didn't do anything.
This isn't the Andy Dalton that took the Cincinnati Bengals to 5 straight playoff appearances or whatever and that was with the Bengals. This is an older Andy Dalton that cannot play. And,
once he grew the beard,
I think they really stunted and did this kid a disservice. And I think Dan Orlovsky said it best, too, when he came in and was sacked 9 times in his first or second start, that this is the game plan you have for your rookie quarterback.
It's negligent.
To get hit, you can't find an offensive scheme to get him out of the pocket or get him protected to where not only he was sacked 9 times, but he was pressured on like 21 of 38 plays.
Yeah, those, you never want to see young quarterbacks in those positions. And Adam Gase
And that's on the coach.
No, that's what I'm saying. Adam Gase did a similar situation with Sam Darnold in the Monday Night Football game against the Patriots, where he had the 6 interceptions and he saw ghosts. Same thing. You don't want to put rookie quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in that situation because you can scar them for life. You can mess around and scar them for life, take away their mentality. You can take away the mental, the way they approach the game. You can take that confidence very fast, and it may never come back.
Without question. I do want to get back on time here, guys, and get into some NFL talk if I could. There's 3 major stories happening in the NFL, and we're going to try to touch on all of them. There's Aaron Rodgers being criticized pretty good.
But he's questioning why he's being
beaten up
a little. The Raiders have released their 2020 first-round pick. This
Both
after
of them.
releasing their 2019 first-round pick. Damon Arnett is out, and the Browns running back Nick Chubb test positive for COVID-19. So a couple of big storylines in the NFL. We'll get to it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
No, I wasn't even paying attention. My apologies. Guess what? I
think it runs in the family here.
First of all, I need you to calm down right now.
It's all good.
Want to start a career in it? Want to start a career?
You might have
in a
to.
business. That's a good one. Want to start a career in a business that's always essential? That's right. I'm talking about the heating and cooling industry. Visit northwesterntech.edu right now, and you can talk about starting off at $77,000 once you finish. Visit northwesterntech.edu.
Happy Tuesday. This is Corey Woods, your Detroit Lions beat reporter of the Woodward Sports Network, checking in with your Detroit Lions update. Yesterday afternoon, Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell spoke to the media for the first time since the bye week, and he had a lot to say about his involvement in the offense. A couple of weeks ago, he did say that he wanted to get more involved with the Lions offense because, in his words, it's been a bit anemic, and the results show that. Here is what Dan Campbell had to say.
I think offensively it's just, I think we need to, we're going to need to find a way to pull the trigger on a couple of these one-on-ones, whether we just design them that way and it's like, hey man, you got to go win, and we're pushing down the field, or we're just, we're throwing a couple of these things outside to our outside receivers. I think we got to push the issue.
Dan Campbell didn't stop there either. As we all know, Odell Beckham Jr. hit the waiver wire yesterday at 4 p.m. and Dan stated that the Lions were not going to place a claim on him. However, Dan did not rule out adding talent to the roster that he feels can help the Lions win. Here's what he had to say about that.
Anybody that we feel like does upgrade us and is our type of guy, if we really feel like it's a true upgrade or somebody that's worth looking at any of these positions, we'll do it. I mean, Brad's already proven that he'll do that. So, like I say, our eyes are always open for anybody we think can help.
They heard from Dan Campbell. This is Corey Woods, your Detroit Lions beat reporter at the Woodward Sports Network, checking in with your Detroit Lions update.
And we certainly appreciate Corey Woods, Woodward Sports Lions beat reporter, who has his pulse on the finger in Allen Park every single day. We're going to check in with Corey daily and get the latest from Lions headquarters out there in Allen Park.
I like that setup. I gotta give me one of those Woodward Sports shirts. It was very, very professional.
Yeah,
it's very professional.
Looks good.
I like it.
One of the things that he mentioned, Odell Beckham Jr. Apparently, he wants to go now and play for the Green Bay Packers. We'll see if that
he and every other receiver that ever lived.
Well, he can make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how the salary works out, but he can make that happen. I'm sure 4 o'clock, 30 minutes from now. He'll know whether he was picked up off waivers or not.
Now, let me ask you this. Knowing that he wants to go to the Packers, he puts it out there. The other 3 teams in the division, well, forget the Lions, the Bears and the Vikings, why don't they put a claim in for him just to keep him away from the Packers? I'm just talking Yankees, Red Sox. They do that. That's what they did. They still do it to this day. They play keep away. I'm just saying, why not play keep away from a team that you don't want to see win?
The Detroit Lions have way too much stuff on their plate to worry about than opposed to playing some keep away games.
I know. I said that. Forget that.
Oh, Chicago and the Vikings.
Chicago and Minnesota.
Chicago either. They need to focus on winning games as well. Flip side of that, though, just talking about Odell Beckham, this is a big opportunity for him. Let's just hypothetically say it goes through. Let's say he does go to Green Bay. Green Bay is the team where he signs the dotted line.
NFC's loaded.
This is a great opportunity for Odell Beckham. It's a great audition because, one, you're going to get your 7.7 for your 9 games. You're going to make your money. You're going to be on the team with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. The defense is playing well. You're going to be you're going to win your division. You're going to have a chance. Maz has you guys going and winning the Super Bowl. It's a heck of an opportunity to go in there and just put on a show. Like, I don't know what happened in Cleveland. I don't think anything happened, to be honest. I personally think Baker didn't like that Odell was a bigger star than him. That's just my opinion. Agree to disagree. I think Odell just goes in there, quiet, focus on the skills, focus on the game, read, learn the offense, learn what you can. Stay up under Aaron as much as you can. Stay up under Devontae. Tell Devontae, it's your team. I'm only coming here to help you out, brother. Let's go. Let's get this money, because people will look at that. How he plays this year. What's the report after he finishes up this season? Teams that need a wideout to go look at, they're watching him. They want to see him succeed because everybody wants this guy. Everybody wants a chance to pick up this guy. He's older in life now. He's no longer kicking field goal nets on the sideline. He's not that guy. Teams and general managers want him to get back to that form. He's got a heck of an opportunity, man. I'm pulling for him.
I just don't understand how he can get through waivers. Now, I'm saying
somebody might not want to pay him $7.5 million. I don't know.
Who gives a damn about $7.5 billion?
Maz, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to pay $7.5 million
flip side to that,
for 9 games.
The flip side of that is maybe he don't have it anymore. Maybe the word's out.
To which case is maybe why he wants to go play with a quarterback who's perfect on the field and the best wide receiver in the game, Davante Adams, opposite him. Maybe you go and you hide yourself a little bit with that. You insulate yourself playing opposite Davante Adams and playing with a quarterback that could throw a ball in a tiny space 60 yards down the field.
I watch OBJ's workouts all off season. Like, he posts them all the time. I watch him all the time. I watch his recovery during his ACL. I watch all that stuff. The guy still has it. Whatever it didn't work out in Cleveland, whether it was Baker, whoever it was. Because remember, this isn't the same GM and the same team that brought Odell to Cleveland. These aren't the same guys. This isn't a guy that they brought to Cleveland. This isn't what they wanted. They didn't want Odell. Like, this isn't a decision and a move that they made.
Was that John Dorsey?
It was Dorsey.
So he's here. He's here in Detroit.
Exactly. So this was Dorsey. So they never wanted him from the start. I'm telling you, Odell still has it. Now, I'm not saying Odell is 2013 Odell. You know, it's been 8 years, and there's been a couple injuries. Odell still has a lot left in the tank. I promise you that. They just never wanted him.
And Odell Beckham Jr. would make anybody better. But you know what? Yesterday I said New England Patriots would be a great landing spot for him. You know where else would be a great landing spot for him? Go back to New York, the state of New York, the Buffalo Bills, opposite Stephon Diggs, and you make Cole Beasley be your third.
But you got Emmanuel Sanders already.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Forgot about Emmanuel Sanders,
well,
but
he could be Cole Beasley then.
Yeah, maybe he could be Cole Beasley, or just.
He don't want to play in the cold.
No, he don't want to play.
But why the hell would he want to go to Green Bay then?
Right. He don't want to play in Buffalo. He'll go to Green Bay.
Maybe LA will sign him.
But
Who the hell knows?
If he does go to Green Bay, he's going to play with a quarterback who is under fire a little bit publicly. And again, these things do not last forever. Right? We saw it with Urban Meyer when all the focus was on him. We saw it with John Gruden. All the focus was on him. Hell, Henry Ruggs killed somebody, and we are beyond Henry Ruggs right now. Think about that for 1 minute.
That is very true.
Aaron Rodgers is in the thick of it now, and you feel like he's never getting out of it. But I'm telling you, for as much as people may hate Aaron Rodgers now, and look, lying is never good. However,
he doubled down with the Martin Luther King quote, though.
And I'll let you get to that. But when he plays on Sunday and they win again, and then they win the next week, and then when they win after that, it's all going to go away.
At the end of the day, winning cures all. Winning cures all. In 2007 and 2009 or 2008, I'm paraphrasing right, I'm trying to figure it out, Ben Roethlisberger got accused of raping women every summer. He got accused of raping a chick.
Back-to-back summers.
Back-to-back summers. Once in Niagara Falls and once in Pittsburgh. I don't know how I remember that, but Niagara Falls and Pittsburgh. Raped 2 women allegedly. He won a Super Bowl. He never talked about it again. They never talked about it. That's when they won the Super Bowl, that Santonio Holmes catch. in the corner of the end zone. Winning takes care of all. You're absolutely 100% correct.
I hit the square on that one, by the way. I won a lot of money on that touchdown.
You're absolutely correct. He's going to go out there and play well because they've been playing well on defense. Everybody's back. Everybody is full throttle. He's going to go out there and you're going to forget about everything that's happened that he said or that he lied about.
But yeah, like quoting Martin Luther King is probably not the best position for this. We all love Martin Luther King, right?
Then why can't he?
Because the context in which
What?
it is,
Did you say?
Why can't he love him?
It's not about love. It's not about love.
But
man.
you can't do it, Maz, when you're lying. Like, your whole basis for the first part of the season was based on a lie. That's why. That's when I think you don't get to do that.
First of all, you don't get to use Martin Luther King's name, a man who stood up for what he believed, was willing to die, which he did, was willing to go to jail, which he did countless times because he stood up for what he believed. Aaron Rodgers has a belief but didn't want to stand up for it. He lied about it.
You're right.
And then he had the nerve to say, and I quote, you have to be like Martin Luther King. He said, like the Dr. Martin Luther King said, is what he exactly said. You have a moral obligation to object to unjust rules and rules that don't make sense. So you're the only one that can object to the rule. You're the only one that can run around and lie and, oh, well, I'm immunized, or, well, the rule doesn't make sense, so I'm not going to wear my face mask. So nobody else, the other players in the NFL, they don't matter. The other coaches, the owners, nobody else matters. You, Aaron Rodgers, you're the only one that has the obligation just to say, you know what, the rule is dumb. The hell out of here.
Can I just say one thing? Did you hear what he said?
What?
You're right. You're right. I think that's the first time he has ever changed his mind on it.
You know why? Because he put me in my place by
right.
Aaron Rodgers did not stand up and say, I don't want the vaccine.
Right.
I don't believe in it.
Right.
He took the back seat. He hoped he could skate through and not get COVID, and it backfired.
Aaron Rodgers is a total douchebag.
No, I
mean, like
now, can I still like?
Yes,
like him.
you can. You absolutely can.
I don't have a problem with him. I don't,
and that's fine.
You shouldn't on the field. I don't have a problem at all.
Look, I'm a Tom Brady guy over a Rodgers guy. Just like I feel like we all have those guys, right? Like you pick Jordan or you pick LeBron. You pick Brady or you pick Montana, or in this era you pick Brady or Rodgers.
Elway or Montana.
We all have those guys. To me, Aaron Rodgers has always been a total douchebag. I don't know if it's because of the Lions thing or what, but he has proved, and I don't care that he didn't get the vaccine. That does not bother me at all. But to lie about it,
he didn't lie. He just didn't say it.
To deceive is just.
Why be deceptive then? Why be deceptive?
If he believes,
he thought he could skate through.
If he has such conviction, if he has such conviction about not taking it, you're freaking Aaron Rodgers. Stand up and say something about it.
He didn't want to. It's not anyone's business. That's the way you looked at it.
But now it is.
Now it is, unfortunately.
He said it's nobody's business, but everybody knows everyone else in the league status but his. Now, now just come out and say it from
now it is.
His team knew.
Just come out and say it from jump. Like, hey, this is what I'm not going to do this, and accordingly. And now he's mad. He has the audacity to say, I don't understand why they're crucifying me. I don't understand why they're coming from me. I don't understand that. Like, why are they coming from you? The same reason they're coming for you is why you hid the fact that you weren't vaccinated.
That's exactly right. I will say this just as an aside, because State Farm is standing by Aaron Rodgers. I believe,
I'm glad about that.
I believe they said something to the effect, here it is. State Farm said it encourages vaccinations and doesn't support some of the statements that spokesperson and Packers quarterback made during regarding COVID vaccine, but respects the right for people to make their own decisions. I am actually glad that State Farm is standing by Aaron Rodgers, because I'm just tired of people losing jobs and all this stuff. Even if it was a lie, even if it was a douchebag move, whatever, like, I'm tired of people losing for either dumb things they say, whatever. That's a side note.
He's made $20 million off State Farm. He's making $40 million this year. To hell with that. He should have got fired from State Farm. There's plenty of other people have been canceled that should not have been canceled.
You're right about that.
He should be canceled from State Farm, not from the NFL, but from State Farm. Because the NFL and the Packers are just as much to blame.
See, for exactly the reason that you said that, too many people have been canceled.
I agree.
For way less.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have been.
Agree.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
I'm saying.
That's
why I'm glad that Aaron Rodgers has not been canceled.
Now,
by
on the
State
side
Farm.
note is, I hear they're not going to play as many of those commercials.
Yeah.
And just on Sunday, they debuted the Terry Bradshaw Aaron Rodgers State Farm commercial when minutes before that, Terry Bradshaw took him to the woodshed and called him a liar and said, you're a bad guy, basically paraphrasing.
That desk.
I'm disappointed in you.
That desk went off on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That desk let him have it, rightfully so.
Ermanni and Edwards, more NFL.
The bottom line.
Hang in there, Aaron.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests. But guess what? We believe that Gypsy is the best tasting vodka. And that's right. Gypsy is a gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artisanal spring water.
Ooh.
Doesn't that just sound special?
Yeah, it does.
Like vodka
Sounds
infused
tasty.
with artisanal spring water. Support local brothers here from Michigan, Adam and Mike. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. Gypsy Vodka. Oh, and don't forget, look how cool that bottle looks.
Yeah, well, look, both sides of the ball, we certainly need work in the red zone. You know, in particular, our defense is 5-1, but offensively, anytime we're getting down there. Now, a lot of the issues we had early were from turnovers, but it's still something that is pretty glaring. I mean, we worked on it last week for a couple of days. You know, obviously in the bye week, we spent some time. And so that's something that we certainly need work at. You know, I think offensively it's just, you know, I think we need to, you know, we're going to need to find a way to pull the trigger on a couple of these one-on-ones, you know, whether we just design them that way and it's like, hey, man, you got to go win and we're pushing down the field, or we're just, you know, we're throwing a couple of these things outside to our outside receivers. I think we got to push the issue.
So that's Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions head coach. They are 9-point underdogs this Sunday as they head to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Myself, Braylon, and Joik Bell and Tom Mazawey will be live this Sunday at the O'Toole's. O'Toole's in Royal Oak. It's a road game. We'll be live from 11 to 1 there. Come see us. Woodward Sports Detroit Lions pregame show.
Can I play another video today from Dan Campbell? This is the one I want you to play, Alex. It's the following one that's on there. I want you to listen to him and how he describes how he and Brad Holmes look at players that are out there on the free agent market. And listen to what he says.
But look, anybody that we feel like does upgrade us and is our type of guy, you know, if we really feel like it's a true upgrade or somebody that's worth looking at any of these positions, yeah, we'll do it. I mean, Brad's already proven that he'll do that. So, like I say, our eyes are always open for anybody we think can help.
Okay, so our type of guy.
What does that mean?
That means they let Deshaun Jackson, who wouldn't have been an upgrade, he said, on this bunch of receivers, walk and go to the Raiders. And I'm not saying he's going to win you a Super Bowl, but isn't Deshaun Jackson an upgrade on what they have here right now? Isn't OBJ an upgrade on what they have right here? Not my type of guy is what I understand and I take, and go back to the old regime.
Yeah.
If you're not a choir boy, the Lions weren't signing you. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of the knocks on the organization for the past 35 years, as long as I've been following them. Right? I mean, the days of Ray Crockett and Benny Blades and those guys, those are the last of those guys, really. You know, Titus Young, remember him? He was, he had some,
how could you forget?
He had some different issues going on, but he was gone. And maybe after Titus Young, that might have been it.
I think it is. It's my type of guy. What's our type of guy? Any guy should be your type of guy. You don't have any talent on the team.
They can help you win. Maybe it's,
Yeah, no.
That stuck with me. That's all.
No, that was a good catch by you. At the end of the day, your type of guy should be a guy that wants to win. that wants to come here, that can help your team, that can elevate you, take you to the next level, like a Deshaun Jackson. To your point, Deshaun Jackson's been in the league for some years, still fast, still can take the top off the coverage, still can catch the ball, still can, get on there and be active and help Jared Goff out. But it goes back to what we talked about yesterday. Wanting to see what they're going to do. We've already said they're not going to do anything this year. They don't want to do anything this year. They want to wait till the offseason and start acquisitioning players in the offseason with the free agency and then go into the draft. So, all we can do is play the waiting game.
Guys, I want to transition to the Los Angeles Raiders. God, I keep saying
Vegas?
that. Jesus.
Just call them the Raiders.
The Raiders. I think you have to call them the Las Vegas Raiders now, because I think you have to take into account where they are with the amount of problems that they are having. Damon Arnett from Ohio State, he is and has been cut, the 2020 first-round pick of the Raiders, after video surfaced brandishing a gun. The Raiders released him. There have been a series of bad decisions over the last year or so, but we cannot stand for the video of Damon with a gun threatening to take a life. That is General Manager Mike Mayock saying that. So this is not just one incident, apparently. This is a series of events that have kind of led up to this. I think the video was the last of it. Mike Mayock does say in this article that he did speak with Arnett's father and said, look, we think he's a good kid. We think he has a good heart. We think he can play in the NFL. It's just not going to be for the Raiders right now. He also says, can a country kid live in a big city or vice versa? We do have to be aware of Vegas. But my thing is, in just about any mid or big size city, you can find trouble. If you want to, you can find it. So maybe you could just find a lot more of it in Vegas. I think this was a worry when the NFL decided to put a team there. They've got their 2 first-round picks gone now, 2019, 2020.
There's a reason the NBA ain't there yet.
Side note, even before this accident, one of the incidents, he crashed 4 rental cars within the last year and a half, I think. He's crashed 4 rental cars. You can go so many different ways with this story. One level is, if an individual is doing this, like, I almost want to take a step back and say, if I'm a GM, you know what I would be really keen on, Ryan? Maz, if I'm a GM these days, what I would look for, and it's something new. Like a GM, the old school GMs would never have to view this, but now you do. I would check a kid's Instagram. I would check a kid's Twitter. Like, if I was thinking about drafting a player, especially in the first round, like if you're talking about taking a kid in the 7th, then,
companies do that.
Exactly.
Every job interview you go on,
check the social
that's the first
media.
thing they do.
I tell my daughters, and they're just coming up in the world. I have a freshman. I say, you better watch what you do on social media.
Check the social media, because people in general, but kids specifically, are dumb.
Braylon, it's part of the college admissions process now, where if you apply to a school, a college admissions counselor or administrator is going to look at that kid's social media. That's just what they're going to do, especially if you're a kid on the fence. What kind of kid is this? I want to understand that. If you're going for a job interview, it's one of the top, after a Google search, simple Google search probably, it's one of the top 2 or 3 things they do. Look at the social media.
Well, Mike Mayock didn't get the memo. The Vegas Raiders did not get the memo that this is something that you should do before you draft a player, before you pay an individual all that money, before you have an individual represent. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I made my share of mistakes, so let's start there. But when you wave a gun and you threaten people on Instagram, like, that's that clout. That's what they call it in the new hip world. The young kids, they're clout chasing. They're out there clout chasing, waving guns and doing all that stuff because other individuals their age do it on social media. They do it on Instagram Live. They do it on TikTok and other platforms. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. But I guarantee you, he didn't just become that individual. I guarantee you, Damon Arnett didn't just become that person.
I will say, to your point, where I don't
Ruggs and Arnett are different to me.
I will say, though, for everything we just said about the Detroit Lions not taking a chance on these guys and, just having a room full of choir boys, that is part of what I admire about the LA Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders, I'm sorry. That is part of what I admire about them. They don't care. Can you play for me or not? Now, that has hurt them in the last 2 cases specifically, in their first-round picks with Henry Ruggs and now this Damon Arnett. But that's what I love about the Raiders, too. They don't care if you're a choir boy.
When Al Davis was alive, they were the land of the misfit toy. If you didn't fit somewhere, you're going to their Raiders.
Yeah, you know, and
just win, baby.
By the same token, if you run 4.24, I'm gonna give you a shot too. If you run 4.24 and go to Alabama, I'm gonna give you a shot too.
Right.
And if you mess it up, then you mess it up. But I'm gonna give you that shot. I'm not gonna look at you and say, couple things, couple instances. I don't know if I want to trust you a bit. The hell with that. If you run 4.24, you go to Alabama, I'm gonna give you a chance. And if you mess it up, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett with Ohio State, you had your chance, but I'm going to give you a chance if your measurables measure up.
Cleveland Browns running backs Nick Chubb and Demetric Felton have both tested positive for COVID-19. Both players are vaccinated, so that they just need two consecutive negative tests, and they'll be back on the field. Guys, bottom line videos of the day. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. They've been your local security experts for over 90 years, letting you be the championship defender of your home. Because if offense wins games, defense certainly wins championship. Don't you want to be that champion of your home? Of course you do. That's why you're going to call Guardian Alarm. Their state-of-the-art technology helps you feel safe 24/7 local monitoring. They have convenient features that let you check in on your home, lock your doors, unlock your doors, carbon monoxide, detect smoke, what have you, control your lights. This is a simple number to call. Are you ready for it?
Ready for it.
1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts for over 90 years. Stay out. Go. Stay out of my house.
Yeah, you come to my house, y'all don't have to worry about telling you stay out.
Hey. That's right. We're all card-carrying members.
I hope Damon Arnett was.
Would you sign Damon Arnett if he was? What kind of career has he had so far?
Absolutely.
What kind of career has he had so far?
What do you mean? What kind of career has he had? He's a first-round pick in 2020.
Okay. Has he showed that he could be good?
He's been on the injury list since he's been on the injury list since early October.
So we really don't have a book on him.
We don't have a book on him.
I will put it to you this way: as I'm watching the Philadelphia 76ers that are trying to get Ben Simmons to take a level of mental health, a therapist, as they're trying to do that, I would say the same to him. I will potentially have a conversation with him. But if we were willing to take this shot, we would have to bring him in and he would have to agree to go through some things. Because if you're crashing 4 cars, I guarantee you those 4 rental cars, I guarantee you weren't sober. At least 2 of them. I guarantee you're just not that bad. You're not that bad of a driver where you crash 4 and you're sober. So we would have to bring him in. He would have to talk to a doctor. He would have to go to classes. He would have to do 30 days.
It does sound like he's got a good support system, too. I do like that.
Like you said, Meyer told you to talk to his father.
Yep, I do like that. I think that
He's a young man.
I would bring him in and have a conversation.
I think that is important when you're talking about a young man, you know. Maybe there aren't too many people that can get that young man to tell him about life. Maybe his dad can.
I tell him he have to get off Twitter. That would be one of my first rules. He would have to get off Twitter. Instagram.
Tom Mazawey, bottom line videos of the day.
All right, my man Alice got this one for me just now because I neglected to have it on the rundown. We're going to start with last night's Monday Night Football game. Najee Davenport of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quite an interview with ESPN Deportes. Check it out.
Najee Harris, ¿podrías describir una victoria como esta? Just describe a win.
El Mundo, El Chapo. Hey, but look at though. I appreciate it's a good win, you know what I mean? We got hella Mexican fans though, you know what I mean? Mucho gracias. Yeah, we got hella Mexican fans though. So shout out to y'all, man. I want to come to Mexico though, and I want to, you know what I mean? I don't know, have a little fiesta, I guess. Perfecto.
Le organizamos una fiesta a Najee Harris.
I can say some more stuff. El Cindro.
Say some more stuff.
Feliz Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. All right, I'm out.
Thank you very much. Just one last question. You guys, mucho corazón, a lot of heart on this team.
Yes.
Tell me about that corazón of the Steelers.
I already know the tradition here is, is just showing heart, and the standard is the standard. We know every game's not going to be, a big win. We made some mistakes on our end, but I wish I could speak Spanish. It would sound so much better. But, us gutting it out and sticking it through, and just picking everybody up after their mistakes, that's what team's all about. So, we're glad we came out with the win. And, thanks for having me, dog.
One last thing. Dice que sí, la mentalidad de venir y ganar. So we got to do one last song. You ever heard La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha?
No. Have you heard of Entahuantao? Entahuantao. Entahuantao.
Este es el gran Najee Harris.
Oh, Entahuantao. Entahuantao. Hey, I'm using that thing like this. I'm like, Entahuantao. Entahuantao. Hey, you know what I mean?
Hermano.
All right.
Gracias, Najee.
All right.
Las palabras.
I'm surprised he hasn't been canceled yet.
Two things about that. Najee, two things about that. And I'm going to tell you why. Two things. One, music is the great universal
unifier.
It's the unifier. Music will always be the unifier. Two, the reason why he wouldn't get canceled for that is in the beginning I kind of was like, oh, man, I hope. But then as you keep watching it, you just see that level of Jamal Williams.
It's a nice guy.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm kidding. I mean, sadly, I'm not. But.
No, because I feel you. In the beginning, I was like, it started off a little, even though we know he's joking, but he's just a kind-hearted, like playful kid. It's kind of like Jamal Williams. Like it's good to see that. He's a good kid.
It's all good. That was from Monday Night Football. Najee Davenport of the Steelers. All right, we'll take you to Saturday. How about Najee? Sorry.
Harris.
Did I say Davenport?
Hey, he's a hell of a player.
He was.
University of Miami Hurricanes.
Najee Harris, who was on my fantasy team, didn't get me enough points to win, though. Let's take you out Saturday. How about check out South Dakota State's trickery here.
They'll snap it back to Pierre Strong Jr., who throws a pass to
Unbelievable.
a wide open
Did you see that?
Kraft.
Yeah, center threw it through the quarterback's legs.
Let's watch that again.
San Jose State.
South Dakota State,
South
the
Dakota
Jackrabbits.
State. The Jackrabbits.
They're playing the Bison. The Bison.
The Bison.
Sometimes you can just watch a level of competition and see why things work. That would never work in the Big Ten. Like, that play was so terrible. Like what? We know who had the ball the whole time. Oh, my God.
One more, Maz.
Just one more?
Just one more.
Then I got to show you last night's basketball game.
Okay.
This was
you got
bad.
to walk us through it
I
because
will.
we're on the radio now, so you can't.
Well, you're going to hear the announcer as well. Okay. It's Jokic against Morris. It's Nikola Jokic against Markieff Morris. Morris gives a hard foul to Jokic. Jokic does not like it. Turns around and literally hits Markieff Morris from the back, knocks him down to the ground. He had to be taken out. Minutes later, he was just laying down on the hardwood. This is how it sounded.
Nuggets have 5 on 4, and Jokic. Oh no!
That was a blindside hit.
Jokic went and ran behind Markieff Morris and threw an elbow in his back.
It was bad.
Kind of a shoulder.
It was
Jokic
bad.
should be suspended for 15 games.
Hold on. Before you go that far, Markieff hit him with a dirty move on the back. He went into his chest as well.
But he should have went man on him, face to face.
What I will say is this. You know what this is a level of as well?
Check it out.
Yes, that's
like a hip check.
That's a dirty play.
Yeah,
and boom.
I mean,
not 15 games.
That's
Ryan.
15 games.
That's not 15 games.
Okay, 10.
No, 5.
10 games.
One game.
Bye, Jokic.
It's 2.
See ya.
You know what it is?
Jerk.
No, you know what it is? Jokic is the big goofball. He's a big funny guy. They take advantage of him. They've been being physical.
Yeah.
They've been bullying him his
had
whole
enough.
time in the league. He's had enough. That wasn't just
What a
for
jerk.
for Markieff Morris. That was for the whole NBA to let you know, I'm tired of this stuff. I'm not putting up with it. This is what I do. The only thing I would have said, not him, because those two brothers are crazy. You are in trouble. Watch it back the rest of the season.
But he was already in trouble with both of them. That was for both brothers.
Yeah.
He hit Markieff for both brothers, who were both Pistons at one time.
The problem is they will see him in the offseason. They're different type of brothers.
What a great day today, gang. Tucker Barnhart, new Tigers catcher.
Yes.
If you want to watch that interview, we certainly encourage you to do so. That was at the top of hour number 2, and we thank the Detroit Tigers for making that happen for
Chad.
us.
Thanks, Ron.
Also,
Appreciate
Stan
that.
Edwards in studio for the first hour of the program. An incredible day with Stan. We talked college football playoff rankings. How far will Michigan State fall tonight? 9 o'clock college football playoff rankings. Will they go from 3 to 5? Could you possibly rank Michigan above Michigan State? I don't think they do that just yet. One more week. You wait to see if Michigan can beat Penn State this week. Then I do think they would jump them.
Agreed.
But nonetheless.
What was that Texas team that's unbeaten again there, Fish?
University of Texas San Antonio.
Oh, I want the Road Runners.
Where will they
Move them
show up in the top 25 tonight?
Move the Road
So
Runners
we got
up.
a lot going on. Braylon, please take us out of here. Again, if you are in the car, tonight, 6 to 8, we are on tape delay, if you will, for lack of a better way to say it. 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 and 94.7 HD2 FM. One of those 3 radio stations, you'll be able to hear us.
Man, we had another heck of a show. Maz is great as always. Fish, you're getting better and better. Alex, my man, always on point. We're just having fun.
Yes,
just like
we
Najee
are.
Harris. Just like if you were watching this, you saw the Najee Harris clip. Maz just gracefully played for us. We were just dancing. We're just getting our rhythm on. Just getting into our groove. But guess what? It's coming. It's coming. We're going to get better and better and better.
Who's coming?
And we're getting better and better
Harbaugh
for
coming?
you.
Tuck's coming.
Oh, I thought Tuck coming. Harbaugh
Hey,
here.
guess what? Those college football playoff rankings are coming tonight, 9 o'clock after Michigan State versus Kansas, number 3 at Madison Square Garden. Go Sparty tonight, man.
Screw
Get you guys
Maz.
a win.
I'm talking basketball.
I'm Ermanni. He's Edwards, and vice versa. Woodward
That's
Sports
starting?
Network. The bottom
That
line.
happened in March.
2-1 Tucker Barnhart. High fly ball down the right field line. He could use it, and he got it. Home run, Tucker Barnhart. Boy, if there's ever a guy that needed it, he is at the very, very top of the list.